G'day. Just letting you know this is still the Commonwealth of Australia. That's who we are. The people are the Commonwealth. How do we know that? Because our law, the Constitution, states that. We have. So I'll go back to the beginning because it'll only take a short period of time, but we've got a problem starting tomorrow because the biggest group of treasonous frauds are attempting to tell us what to do and tell us we are going to do what they say. Well, we're not. We're not going to do it. Why? Because you don't have that authority. We didn't give it to you. Now, Penny Wong and Anthony Albanese, you two should be arrested straight away and locked up for treason along with every other politician in this country. Why? Because the Constitution says so. You are there to pass laws for us, not over us. Your external affairs powers stretch just to the extent you can set up an embassy in each country, and then you can arrange for companies to come into this country and deal with our country. Can they own land in here? No. Well, why have you given it to them? You didn't sell it to them, you gave it to them. Can they own the public utilities? No, because it's not your business. Are they? No. Am I incorrect? No, I'm not. You see, your little green book, your blue book, is an interesting book. As I've said several times and you fail to see, every senator and every member of the House of Representatives shall, before taking his seat, make and subscribe before the Governor-General, which we don't have, or some person authorised by him, an oath or affirmation of allegiance in the form set forth in the schedule to this Constitution. Not to Allah, not to Buddha, not to Father Christmas, the Tooth Fairy, or anybody else that enters your mind, and certainly not to socialist, communist garbage, which is all it is. The enslavement of the world through dictatorial idiots. That's what communism is. They do not care about the human race. They have their own version. But if you haven't sworn that, and none of you have, you've got a huge problem. Now, you've got somebody claiming to be the Governor-General. Are you the Governor-General? No, you're not. Why? Because the Constitution says you're not. You've got regulations, you've got provisions you must comply with to be the Governor-General, and you didn't. I did a video, I told you the requirements. You select the people that we allow to debate and pass legislation. It's called the executive government. It's found on page 701. You see, while you've been backstabbing us, we've been putting the truth on my Facebook page, on TikTok, on everything else we could put it on. And that's a post I did a long time ago showing page 701, which has a complete diagram about how our parliament is established. And then you have, look at that lovely, whatever it is you call a Governor-General. Goes on, oh, we got this tradition, that tradition. All you did is spell out a big heap of lies. What did we say? Nothing. We just left it for you to sink yourself. And that's exactly what you did. You allowed, without using your brain one little bit, when I said the dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, says prorogue means dissolve the parliament, and it states that actually in those sections. In the Collier's World Encyclopedia Dictionary, it states the same. So when you dissolve the parliament, it doesn't exist. A cabinet does not exist, except where you keep your drugs and alcohol, like I said before. Because there's no other cabinet in the Constitution. If it's not there, it doesn't exist. There's an executive. That is not a cabinet chosen by idiots. traitors who follow their political parties and not the will of the people. Oh, this is our policy. Your policy is lies. You've proved that. You got straight into there, unlawfully into our parliament, with 34% of the vote. Preferential voting, which isn't in the Constitution, you can't have it. It's a lie. It's a fraud. And we got the document that proves there is an electoral act for each state as of 1890. And you decided to discard that, but you didn't discard the other lies. You just discarded that because you want people to bend over and cop everything you want to give them because you don't care. You are not looking after this country. I can prove beyond doubt. You see, your little mate Ann Toomey says this and the Green Book are the same. Why is she saying that? Because she knows the contents of this are truth. The contents of the green one are fraud. It's not authorised. You know how we know that? It wasn't put to the people. If you wanted to change the Constitution, you had to go not only to us, to England to do it. You didn't do it. You changed the interpretation. Does that change the Constitution? Absolutely does. You see, the text of the Constitution was put to the British Parliament. It was put through the system there, and we were granted this as of the 9th of July 1900. What is this? This is the Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK. Not 1901, 1900. The document we filed in the court a little over a month ago, around a month ago, laid out the problems with what you created when you failed to comply with this. You failed to comply because Western Australia put this in place with 32 sections missing. August 1902, New South Wales removed its constitution, put another one in place. And that's backed up by the fact that you decided to turn magistrates into judges. And you used the 1902 Constitution. Therefore, letting us know clearly that you'd removed the correct one, because under 106 the states can retain their constitutions subject to this and altered in accordance with the Constitution. You didn't do that. You removed it altogether and changed it with a different one, giving yourselves power. And say you didn't, it's in your dreaming little act. But what is this? This is an enabling act, proclaimed and gazetted in England first as enabling act, enabling us to have a constitution. Why? Because under the provisions of Clause 8, we're a self-governing colony of England. Did we give you permission to change that? No. Can anybody else? Absolutely not. No king, no queen, no anything can touch that. Oh, King George did this, someone came to Australia and said this. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Because they'd have to go before the British Parliament first, get permission to change the Constitution Act. This one. They would have to do that. This says clearly, whereas the people of New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia and Western Australia, humbly relying on the blessing of Almighty God, join together in one indissoluble federation of the Commonwealth of Australia. Indissoluble means you can't be dissolved. Not without a lot of work. Can you do it? I haven't bothered to look at it because we don't want to. We don't care what you can do. If you could do it, you would have done it, but you didn't. You chose to embark on 150 years of absolute lies and dribble and treachery and treason and everything else. Dick Yardley revealed it. I spoke to Dick a few weeks back, quite a few, And I told him I'm going to reveal the whole lot because it's got to be revealed. And all the time knowing that it's in your booklets. In your booklets. See, letters patent passed under the Great Seal of the United Kingdom constituting the office of the Governor of the State of Western Australia and its dependencies in the Commonwealth of Australia. Dated the 29th of October 1900, when Queen Victoria put the Constitution Act, the Constitution of every state, the office of Governor for every state, and the Electoral Act for every state in place with the letters patent, and you breached it. You breached it. You ignored it. So what did you do? Committed treason. Did you personally do it? No. Did you continue it on? Yes. Have you studied it? You reckon you have. And Toomey is a traitor because she reckons she stated it and couldn't see what everybody else does. You just don't want to see. But in this blue book they put out, it tells everybody the treachery and lies and treason. I already did a video, and what did you do? Nothing? Nothing? You see, you can say we don't talk to Aboriginal natives. We do. In fact, we had a couple of lovely ladies, and they spoke to us for about 5.5 hours 2 weeks ago, and they're coming back on the way back from Perth. And we discussed the treachery and treason that's going on in this country. See, when you lied to the people, and you did, and you lied, and when you finished you lied again, and then you lied again. How did you lie? Because we had a referendum, and we said, the people said, because we were led to believe they wanted the same voting rights as us. They should have had them. We believe they should have had the same rights as us. Why didn't they? We believe they should have been looked after according to the state constitution. Every native shall be fed, clothed, housed, and given a small amount of money. We voted yes to that at Federation because we set up the Commonwealth. And when the states were established, 106 comes into play, and that constitution, which states the area where I'm living is granite, clearly states it and gives the boundaries and everything else. So when the city of Geraldton decided to steal the land and tell people what to do, which they got no authority whatsoever to tell anybody, no council has, they're nothing but liars and nothing but traitors. But what they did under 26 of the 51 subsection 26 in their little blue book, their constitution they call it, it says the people of any race other than the Aboriginal race in any state for whom it is deemed necessary to make special laws. So you took this out, you changed it. Did you give them what they should have under the Constitution? No. You willfully and deliberately changed this and thought you'd get away with it. The people of any race for whom it is deemed necessary to make special laws. So you're giving yourself the right, using a lie and a fraud, to produce whatever law you wanted. That's what you've done. And the idiots, professors they call themselves, decided, using external affairs powers, you could sign up to anything. I read a document put together by Chief Justice French. He wrote it as a document informing everybody that in his opinion, the courts could take up some of the agreements, just factor them into a court case, and that was acceptable. No, it's not. You forgot one thing, sir, and that is the fact that in doing so, they overturned the Constitution. Why didn't they put it to the people if it was truthful? Can they do it? No. Why? Because the courts are record. They record what goes on, and make a judgment according to law. Judges, plural, not single, because habeas corpus prohibits that. And someone says habeas corpus doesn't apply. That person is a nut. And anybody who pushes it is just as nuts. Why? Because habeas corpus was originally in 1640 to abolish Star Chamber hearings, synagogues of Satan. That's what it was for. The problem is, people don't want to know. When you tell them, oh, they've got all these reasons, oh, they did this, they did that, it's not in this, it's not in that, we didn't read it in here. I don't care. Go back to the 1640. I showed you 4 books. Lord Macaulay wrote them on the history of England up until the death of William III. That explains a lot. I spoke to a gentleman about that, explained it to him. He's now got a copy and he's reading it. That's good. All those laws, 1688 Bill of Rights, Magna Carta, habeas corpus, Act of Settlement, and the King James Bible were made forever laws under the Revolution of England. The Revolution was when the Church of England was created from the Roman Church, where they told them the Pope wasn't God on earth. He was lying. Literally lying. Oh, he's infallible. No, he's not. He's not God. There's one God. That's it. The rest is lies. He's not God on earth. He may be purporting to be God's representative, but he's not. Idolatry is a shocking thing in the Bible. It's a huge problem. That's a worship of idols. Oh, they're symbols. No, they're not. They're idols. They're idols. They're put in place of God. Are they? Yes. Pray to Mary because you can't pray to God. It's easy to go to the Son through his mother. That's all right if it's not a bit of plaster standing up. It's not. It's just idolatry. Read it and weep. What did the Jews do when they were wandering around in the desert? Build idols to all their gods. They're idols. Let's get off that one because there's a bigger problem starts tomorrow. When Penny Wong went and signed up to the WHO, to the WEF and the United Nations, and the political parties have signed up to the whole lot. What did they do? Created blatant treason against the people of this country. Do we know that? Yes, we do. You see, in this it says the governor, the provision of maternity allowance, widow's pensions, child endowment, unemployment, pharmaceutical, sickness and hospital benefits, medical and dental services, but not so as to authorise any form of civil conscription. Benefits to students and family allowance. That is 51 subsection 23A of the Constitution. You went and signed up in direct contravention of this. You want to give us pharmaceutical things, knowing that it's going to kill us. Some of us, not all of us. According to the science, according to the experts in the world, according to a huge number of courts throughout the world, are now ruling the whole lot was criminal. And you went over there and signed it. You are party to all those crimes. And if we are tied up to international law, you can be removed from this country and stand trial because you pushed them here. You pushed them too in Albanese. So did Mark McGowan and Dodgy Roger. And look at that. The purported governor of Western Australia, who was the police commissioner, and he was serving the Crown. How did he do that? 2 reasons make that a lie. If he was serving the Crown, he would have arrested you. the whole Parliament, his right. Under who? Under a lawful governor. Oh, look at that. We didn't have one of those either. So you set up a system thinking you're going to get away with treason and treachery. You're not. I'm just telling you how it came about. From your books, so it's not lies, it's not misinformation, it's from your book. Says you cannot conscript people, but you did. Did you? If you went out in the street, you got arrested. Why? Oh, you're not allowed out here. Why not? Because we've quarantined it. Hang on. Quarantine under Section 39 of the Constitution, if you had a lawful federal parliament, which you claim you do, no longer was the legislative authority of the states. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I'll tell you something. And this says you can't. It says that you, at until the other Parliament otherwise provides a president of at least 1/3 and all that. But it talks about in here, under Section 39, the fact. Oh, no, sorry, I got the section wrong. That's why it's a bit difficult to find it. But I'll find it. I've got plenty of time because people need to know the truth. You say you got the right to quarantine the states. Well, it's 69, sorry, I got it wrong. That's why I couldn't read it. But I was trying to read it from my memory. On a date or dates to be proclaimed by the Governor-General after the establishment of the Commonwealth, the following departments of the public service in each state shall become transferred to the Commonwealth. And they did. Because the first Governor-General was established under the letters patent issued by Queen Victoria and continues to stand. So why is Moslem or whatever its name is claiming to be the Governor-General? It's not. What was transferred? Posts, telegraphs and telephones, naval and military defence, lighthouses, lightships, beacons, buoys and quarantine. But the departments of customs and of excise in each state shall become transferred to the Commonwealth on its establishment. That's pretty clear. Isn't that nice? So what we have here is a failure to understand that you, clowns, are not the government of this country. You're not. You never will be in your present state. Political parties don't exist. Why? Because I'm going to read from page 701, which you need to comprehend. It isn't just a matter of what you want. It's a matter of what you have to have, what you have to comply with. So, you crazy, stupid idiot that calls yourself a minister for able to go overseas and do what you want, you have no right. Because you had no right to go there. You had no right to say you represent Australia because you don't. It's all right, I'll get it in a minute. It's a bit funny here, trying to go through quickly, but I want to be clear. There's a diagram here, page 701, and it's very, very clear. It says Commonwealth quasi-sovereignty. The Commonwealth is quasi-sovereign. It is the people. This book says, and it is a book written and containing the Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK, the 9 clauses that can't be taken out, and Toomey says it's the same as the Green Book. So you won't mind me reading from this one, Toomey, because it's very clear. It says the Commonwealth quasi-sovereignty. Why? Because that's the people. Why is it only quasi-sovereign? The supreme, absolute and uncontrollable authority remains with us. Under that, the Federal Constitution. Look at that. This one. That sits there. And then under it, the federal government It's a federal parliament, federal executive, federal judiciary, state government, state parliament, state executive, state judiciary. Why does it say that? Because there's three separate entities. Separate entities, not the same. They don't exist, and the parliament's not above the Constitution, and it's not above the High Court. How do we know that? The Constitution says, page 346, says not all enactments of the Parliament are valid, only those passed pursuant to, in accordance with, and under the authority granted by the Constitution. In other words, it's not granted, you don't have any authority. The Constitution's clear on it. And those laws only are binding on the courts, judges and people of every state. Why? Because they're made compliant with the authority granted. You are not granted power without authority. Every single law has to have a grant of authority by our Constitution. Do you have the right, Penny Wong, to go to another country and sign up to the WHO, the WEF, United Nations, or any other bunch of morons who think they've got the right to walk all over the rest of the world to make money out of us, and then if you don't like us, get rid of us? Did you have that authority? No. Did you have authority to be there? No. How do we know that? Section 62 to 68 of the Constitution. Very, very clear. The Governor-General selects 10 from the lower house, 8 from the upper house. They're the Executive Council, and sits with a Federal Attorney General to put legislation together. Who holds the portfolios? He does. Doesn't say she. I don't care if you have a referendum and make it he, she, that doesn't matter. It currently says he. So she doesn't exist in law until you do that. Why? Because the Constitution is precise. Oh, we got these. I don't care what you've got. A simple referendum which would alter without changing the office of Governor General. Understand, you don't have authority to change the Constitution. I know, I've seen the videos by Ann Toomey. No, that's a lie. As I said before, she's either lying, been taught lies, or hasn't got a clue what she's talking about. Well, she says the Green Book and the Red Book are the same, so it seems to me she wouldn't have a clue what she's talking about. And yet, she spoke with Chief Justice French, and she said, oh yeah, they can do this, they can do that. No, they can't. Our Constitution said both of you are wrong. Whether you concede it or not, or you say I'm wrong, I don't care. You know, when you read the King James Bible, the book of Luke, it tells you exactly what lawyers are, and Ann Toomey was one, French was one, a lot of the politicians were one. Deceivers of the people, liars, thieves and cheats. Pretty good description. Fits them perfectly. You think you can lie and cheat your way into taking this country off the people. What's set out in the Constitution is called aliens, immigration. And how do you emigrate? We'll start with that one. You come from anywhere in the British Empire, you stay here more than 5 years, you can go into Parliament. Do you have to change your nationality? No. Why? Because you can't. When the High Court in Sue versus Hill ruled that England's a separate country, it's separated by a bit of water, is it a separate country to this? Not while we're a self-governing colony. You just decided, oh, look at that, Billy Hughes without going to the people signed the Treaty of Versailles. Who told him he could? Was he questioned on it? Yes, he was. Sir Edmund Barton went before him Christmas 1919 and asked a heap of questions. And look at that. He accidentally on purpose drank poison when he was in that little town between Lura and Lithgow on the Great Western Highway in New South Wales. Accidentally, apparently, because nobody did anything about it. But then, did they, in honour of him, answer questions? The question? No, they didn't. Why? Because they couldn't without admitting to treason. And that's exactly what they did. Excuse me, I had a mishap with my hand this morning because it's a slight cut. Don't worry about it. Started bleeding, that's all. The thing is, Sir Edmund Barton his questions were gagged. Why? Why weren't they answered? Because they couldn't answer them, because there's no reason why Billy Hughes could sign the Treaty of Versailles without going to the people. He's not sovereign. He's not supreme. He doesn't even exist in the Constitution. There's no office of Governor General. Where does it come from? The Speaker of the House. The highest person in the Parliament. How does he get there? He's elected there by the Parliament, who is made up of representatives of each state. But you didn't have 6 states to do it, and you knew that. Billy Hughes, without lawful excuse, added conscription into law. What he called law, but it wasn't. It was fraud. He added preferential voting. Did he have the right? No. Was it law? No. It was fraud. It was treason. He tried to remove the statute of monopolies, several referendums. You can't. Why? Because of the 9 clauses, you can't touch anything in any imperial law. You can't touch it. It's not. But the Colonial Laws Validity Act, and the Constitution backs this up, says no colony of England has any power to interfere in any way with any imperial law. And it all applies subject to our Constitution. Is Magna Carta in our Constitution? Read Section 80. It isn't an absolute grant of a right to go to trial by jury in our Constitution. Quick and Garron, who wrote the annotations, which is the Hansard, which is a record of how they came to each section, and the correct translation of our Constitution said, because of the Great Charter. The Great Charter is Magna Carta. It's a charter of rights, along with the Bill of Rights, along with everything that you're going to do if you're in the British Empire. You're going to have a trial by jury, Section 39. You have the right to do whatever you like to override treachery, treason, tyranny, and sabotage. Just like Dick Yardley said, you've committed it, we have the right to remove the garbage. You're the garbage. Every political party established and every person ever been in it are garbage. If you didn't uphold our Constitution, comply with it, you're garbage. And Halsbury's Laws of England, Volume 2, states, you try to interfere in any way, that's a Treason Felony Act. The penalties are severe. You go to the colonies for life, or they get rid of you. That's your choice. And it states that very, very clear. So why are we allowing you peanuts to go into Parliament? Now, getting back to the purported Governor-General, if your Parliament was prorogued, how did Albanese go before you, resign as a Prime Minister? Hang on, he got dissolved, didn't he? According to law, and you say you were complying with the law. No, you didn't. You lied. You lied. You reckon you've been through, you were following all the protocols. The video was there. You lied. Then he reinstated himself. Well, hang on. You hadn't had the first sitting of Parliament. So who elected him back as a Prime Minister? Another lie. Another lie. Not going to lift the power bills? Yeah, you are. You did. Not going to increase taxes? Now you've got some idiot saying he is going to increase taxes. And look at that. Albanese said he's going to increase the goods and services. What the? You're going to tell me now that the Pope wants more money from this country? No. That's what it's for. Section 51, subsection 2 says any exaction of money, for example, rates, levies, tolls, licenses, etc., is a tax. It also says in that section, if you take the time to read it, and I suggest you do, because you will now know that you are fully sitting in blatant treason. You are. It says, except customs and excise, any law in relation to tax shall deal with one subject of tax only. Unless you missed out on school, and I don't think you did, you're not that dumb, goods and services in one subject of tax, which is one law, is unlawful. Blatant treason. Stop adding it to your bills. Stop collecting it. That's fraud. You don't have to. If they try to take you to court, the Constitution says they can't. That is the supreme law of this country, just underneath the Commonwealth, which is the people. When are you going to realise these maggots are parasiting on this country? Who gave the Parliament authority over all our public utilities? Where in the Constitution? Chapter 3, Section 76, page 795, the fourth paragraph says you exercise authority, not power, authority throughout the Commonwealth. You have to state in the Constitution where that authority comes from, because without authority there is no power. There's no power. Wake up. You might think I'm old, I'm doddering, I'm all this. No, none of the above. I am getting on in age, so what? So what? I know what the book says. I can refer you to it, and I do. For clarity, for honesty, and overthrow their misinformation lies, which they want to instigate. Restrictions on when we can go on and off something belongs to us. It's not your authority. You don't have control of it. The executive at state level and federal level is the only ones who put legislation together, not the portfolios that you give to idiots who work for your political party, which is a registered company and can't exist under Section 44 of the Constitution. So what we put to the court is everything you criminals have done. Everything. And then the second document, which went there, that was a statement from the person down the back, Michael Kent Burnett. He has no problem me telling that. I got his permission first. So that I could tell you who you're dealing with. He's not all the things that they're saying he is, but whether he is or not, he knows the law. He's learning it. How do I know that? Because I tell him. And I show him everything that he wants, and we put it together. We challenge the jurisdiction of the magistrate, the council, the public servants, the public officers calling themselves police because they're not. No oath, no authority, no power. Council workers, no authority, no power. Magistrates, no oath, no authority, no power. Why? Because our Constitution says so. Why have we got a Constitution? To try and shield us against maggots. And look at them. Heaps of them. I'm not saying the particular magistrate is a maggot, because she's actually quite very intelligent and very respectful to everybody. She didn't make a big hoo-ha, but she accepted the documents and stated, I see you didn't fill out the back of the document. No. He said, no, because I'm not guilty. How can I fill that out? I did nothing. And she said, I see you've challenged the jurisdiction of a lot of people. He said, yes. She said, then I'll put your plea down as not guilty. He said, yeah, whatever. He didn't say, I concede you're allowed to do it, because that's a lie. He doesn't. And how did we know that? Because we went back 2 weeks later and put in another document, affidavit of truth. What does the affidavit of truth say? Oh, look at that. I'll go back to the other document first, the challenge, because it challenges every lawyer, because their oath is to the Bar Association of the City of London via the Bar Association of Australia in all the states and everything, but it inevitably goes back to there. It's an unlawful oath because they don't swear to uphold the Constitution or the Crown according to the Constitution, not according to their oath. They can take that oath after they swear to uphold ours. In Western Australia, they created the Acts Amendment Repeals Court and Legal Practice Act. Section 5 made lawyers officers of the Crown, of the court. How can you be an officer of the court when that's a gathering under the sovereign and you're not gathering under the sovereign? And you swear an oath to lie for the better good? Well, hang on. The truth brings out justice, not lies. So it's an unlawful oath. I don't care what you think. The law says. What I'm talking about is you've got a bunch of liars, frauds, traitors, treacherous maggots, trying to tell us what to do. All we have to do is grow some guts, stand up and say no. Don't pay them any money. The council won't go broke. Just the idiots won't get paid. They are trading companies. A magistrate say, oh no, that's for GST purposes. No, it's not. Goods and services tax is an unlawful act. Stop collecting it. Take it off all your documents, all the food bills, fuel and everything. Stop doing it. If you all stopped, the government would have no money. The Vatican wouldn't be getting any money. They'd start jumping up and down. Do this, do that. Well, they want to do that. What do they want to do? They want to call a pandemic whenever it suits themselves. They want to inject you whenever it suits them. No. We didn't vote them in, so they have no say. Penny Wong, you need to go to jail. That's where you belong. You, Anthony Albanese, you need to go to jail. Can I prove what I'm saying? Absolutely can. Every document, every section of law, because we don't have any laws made by any parliament at federal level. That's what we put before the court. If you think I'm wrong, you prove it. I know you can't, because everything in there is from our Constitution and the interpretation by the Australians who put that together. Not idiots. What rights does everybody have in this country? Exactly the same right. Exactly the same rights. Bar none. Aboriginal natives are not original natives. That's what the word means. The correct interpretation. That's why I don't like it. How do we know? History will show how many people actually have lived in this country through the years. Now there's some people coming out and say, oh, there was a Dutch settlement and all this. Well, if there was, where is it in history books? If Captain Cook did the things you say he did, where is it in history books? Our history is so bent and twisted in the lies, and the two spanners that are running around saying, oh, the First Nation. No, there's only one nation ever on record in this country. The nation created under the Commonwealth Constitution Act. There is no other. You can say what you like, but you've got no documents and no proof of anything that you two say. That's why, when somebody said Kangaroo Jack's not an emotional person, well, that person lied. Because when he was describing what took place in the Northern Territory, I'm not taking sides, he had tears in his eyes. Is he emotional? Oh, yeah. Is he passionate? Yes. But someone's lying to him, and he's spreading those lies. Mate, stand up and put truth. Get with the rest of the people, not just the ones who live in the city that want to be able to sit back and say, gimme, 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 pay us rent, pay us that. No. It's not going to happen. How is less than 1 million people going to tell 26 million what to do? It's not going to happen. Not now, not any other time. You're not going to convince somebody they've got to pay land off for the rest of their life, massive amounts of money, and then pay you rent to live on it, and that's all going to be hunky-dory. No, it's not. Wake up to the fact this country is run by traitors. All we have to do is say no. If the police turn up at your neighbour's place, all the neighbours around gather around, tell them to get lost. You are employed by us through the governors of the states. Get away, take your idiots away. If you want to inject somebody, inject the idiots who turn up to do it. If you get called to places to get it. No. Don't change our currency. Our constitution states the currency will be there. You can't change it without a referendum. You can't. And you can't call a referendum because you're not a lawful parliament. Not at state level, not at federal level, not at any level. You are just a bunch of filthy, lying traitors. Understand? You think, oh, what I'm saying is incorrect. You say, oh, you can have me for slander and everything. Bring it on. I have the legislation, the correct legislation. Sir Harry Gibbs says Australia is a lawless country. No. His Australia was the Australia put together under the Australia Act, and all the idiots who put that together by an unlawful federal parliament. The actual truth of the matter is, we didn't have any laws made in Australia, which would have been a better statement, because we've never had a lawful federal parliament. By 1975, according to some statistics, Victoria was the last one to remove its constitution. We had no lawful state laws or acts. What is this country running on lawfully? The Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK, any laws made pursuant to it before the states changed their constitution, which was zero. The Commonwealth, zero. So what are we running on? Magna Carta, 1688 Bill of Rights, the Act of Settlement, Habeas Corpus, and the King James Bible. That is the law, the common law. How? Under the 9 clauses of this. The only constitution that is lawful at this time. And you think we can't do anything about it? We can. We have the authority, we the people. With 34% of the vote and no lawful law saying you can use preferences, there's no, you're not even voted in. All you are is a bunch of traitors. When you go overseas, Penny Wong and Albanese, the liar, the traitor, the fraud, even your upbringing is a lie, according to what you said and according to what actually is. Somebody ought to bring it out. What is your actual surname? Did you change it by deed poll, or you're just lying about that? Lying. You're not, oh, it's a mistake. Policies are not lies. Yes, they are. You lead people to do something, that's fraud. So if you don't uphold that and you deliberately go against it, which you've been doing, that's fraud. So why aren't you locked up? When you go to another country, why aren't they using international law to arrest you and lock you up? Because they're all trying to push their people into slavery like you idiots are trying to push us. At the same time, you're supposed to be, according to the Constitution, collecting customs and excise. Who told you you could do it import duties free and all that? Who told you? The Constitution says if you're the Parliament, if you're the executive, you have to pass a law in relation to how much you collect, not if you can or not. The Constitution states clearly you've got to collect it because you've taken it off the states. So if you are collecting it, why aren't you putting it into consolidated revenue? Or are you putting it into your pockets? Where are you getting all this money that you've got in your accounts when you never ever worked a day in your life? How are you doing that? Theft, treachery, lies and treason. That's it. And that's all we've got. And you're trying to sabotage this country, as Dick Yardley said. So Harry Gibb was right. There was no federal law, so we were lawless from a federal perspective. And that's the only way it can be. Did he say it clearly? No, he didn't. Why? Because of his position in society, his religious beliefs. He couldn't say it. But what you've got to understand, tomorrow, when Penny Wong's little signed agreement with another country, that makes you an outright traitor, Penny Wong. You have to be arrested and charged. If the federal police fail to do that, they only reveal the fact that they're unlawful anyway. You have to be Commonwealth police, employed by the Commonwealth, employed by the people. Every person, man and woman, not your corporate persons, the living persons, which exist, the humans, every single one of them have the right to vote yes or no. You have to give it to us. Our Constitution says so. So while you're writhing in your lies, treachery and treason, understand, if you do something, we have the right to rise up. You think Howard took all the guns off it with his lies. Do I believe Martin Bryant? That's still up in the air. Do I believe someone with his mentality and capabilities could carry out what he did? Not without help. Not without help. And there's too many ifs. Why was he convicted? Why wasn't he ever brought before a court, trial by jury instead of one judge? Why did you people in this country, decide in direct contravention of the Act of Settlement, 1688 Bill of Rights, Magna Carta, and habeas corpus? Why are you trying to tell us you have the right to take guns off us? Why? Because you're scared someone's going to go and get rid of you. That's what you're scared of. It's your fear. You think you're making us fear. No. You better get some fear in you and get some honesty, because you don't even know what it is. And you can walk around thinking you're smart, Penny Wong, but you're not. You're a filthy, stinking traitor to this country. You don't like what I'm saying? See you in court. See you in court. I am a lawfully sworn officer of the Crown. I'm revealing criminal offences, and you're committing it. And it's blatant treason. Every single politician sitting in any parliament in this country is committing treason. You people who work for these departments, you're supposed to be working for the Commonwealth. After swearing an oath of allegiance, read 1 William and Mary, it says so. Every public servant, right down to everybody except the clergy who swear their oath direct to God, and that's what they swear, to become clergy in the Church of England, not the Anglican Catholic Church or any of that nonsense. Church of England. They swear, I'm not Church of England, by the way, I'm no religion, just so that you know. I don't believe in religion. That's my business. Now, let's say, put it this way, every single one of yous, right down to the person who empties bins, must swear the oath of allegiance to get his job. You took it out, you put it back. You took out the state constitutions, you put them back, because without that, and the representatives of each state, there is no federal parliament. Understand, that's the end of the line for your lies. Your crap. Trips to Canberra? Yeah, if you upset those idiots, good on you, Jody. Your trips to the parliament? Trips to politicians' houses? You should be hounding these peanuts in these call themselves politicians. You go to them, they say, oh, but the law says they can have local government. No, it doesn't. They added local government to the state Constitution of Western Australia, the unlawful one with 32 sections missing. Have they ever proved that's lawful? No, they haven't. How do I know? Because I've hammered them through the years. And they say in all the records and on Wikipedia and all that, look, it continues with the same things over and over. How many times do you have to tell the truth before you idiots understand it is the truth? It is. You have no say in whether it's the truth. We do, and we said our Constitution stands. The High Court has ruled. The Constitution is the highest authority in this country. French, before he left, he said, 1688 Bill of Rights, habeas corpus, and all imperial law is law in this country must be abided by. Put it back and abide by it. If you want it out, you need to ask us. We haven't said. If you don't like that, too bad. What I'm saying is the truth. The truth is exactly that. Truth brings forth justice. grants you authority from us. No authority, no power, no truth, no justice. End of the story. You're a lying pack of filthy traitors. Don't like it? Tough. Come around and tell me to my face. I'll tell you still. You're still a bunch of lying traitors. The last document we filed demanded that the manager of the Geraldton Court gave a reason under the Constitution. He's exercising authority to why he's allowing these people to come in the courts. And not only do all these people have to state where they get their authority from, he has to. If he hasn't done it in another week, then we'll serve it on the Premier. And he can explain why him and his stupid little mate who's now resigned, who's the hero of idiots, how he created the Acts-Amendment Repeals Court and Legal Practice Act and took the crown out of our system, which took away the only lawful right for any court in this state to exist. But we didn't challenge every state. We challenged every court in the Commonwealth of Australia because none of them are sitting under the Crown. The High Court sitting under a 1979 Act which removed the status of separation of powers between the Parliament and the High Court. It doesn't exist in law. And as Cullerton revealed, and then Attorney General said, the government makes rules for the court. Hang on, if it's got a separation of powers, why isn't the court making the rules? Because they can't implement them on us, and you, by lying, have decided you can implement them on us, and that's what you're doing. We need leave to go to the High Court, not special leave. So why do the documents say special leave? Because they're lies. They're fraud. So you have a lovely day. Worm yourself on that. I don't care. It's slightly long. Listen to the lot and you'll comprehend. Everything I've said is according to the Constitution. Every politician in this country, every police officer, which is a public officer by the way, every so-called public servant, every lawyer is sitting in blatant treason, and I mean that with respect to some people because I know them and they're decent people. The rest of yous are filthy, stupid clowns. Wake up, you're traitors. Don't like what I'm saying? Boo-hoo, get over yourself. So all of you have a nice couple of days and you will find out you aren't going to get what you want. Penny Wong, you're going to get jail. That's where you belong. So are you, Albanese. You filthy criminals, superiors. No other way to describe you. Our Constitution says you're traitors, frauds, and you're very treacherous. Bye.